Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the I Watch Horror podcast. As always, I am your host Matt, and today we have news on a Sleepaway Camp remake, Insidious 6, and a lot more. Before we get started, be sure to like and rate the show. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe for all kinds of great horror content. With that out of the way, let's get to it. There is something about a summer camp that just seems ripe for horror. The isolation, the shadowy woods, the seemingly innocent fun that can so easily turn sinister. And in 1983, a movie came along that took all of those elements and cranked them up to 11, delivering one of the most shocking and memorable endings in the history of the genre. That movie, of course, was Sleepaway Camp. And now, over 40 years later, it's getting a new life. The remake rights have been secured by AFA, a production company co-founded by SNL veteran Kenan Thompson and producer Johnny Ryan Jr. But what makes this news especially interesting for fans of the original film is that the original writer and director Robert Hiltzik is not only on board, he's returning to write and direct the new project. In a world of remakes, this feels different. The return of the original creator gives this new take on Sleepaway Camp a kind of built-in authenticity. Thompson and Ryan Jr. have said they're staying true to the original story while also adding in new twists, all while working to preserve the integrity of the original film. It's an unusual approach, and one that suggests this won't be a simple rehash of a beloved classic. It will be a reimagining, a new look at a familiar nightmare, all from the mind that first conceived it. The story of the Hannibal TV series is one of a passionate cult following and a creative vision that was simply too unique for network television. Now, a decade after the show's finale, creator Bryan Fuller is once again stirring the pot for a revival. Fuller has been vocal about his desire to continue the saga of Hannibal Lecter and Will Graham, and while the original cast including Mads Mikkelsen and Hugh Dancy have long expressed interest in returning, the project has always been stalled by a complicated web of rights issues. However, Fuller recently revealed a new idea, a limited series adaptation of The Silence of the Lambs, starring Mikkelsen as Lecter. But this time, Fuller has a dream casting for the iconic role of Clarice Starling, Zendaya. This is a new twist on an old story for fans. A fourth season of Hannibal was always expected to be an adaptation of the book, but the television series Clarice, which ran for one season on CBS, muddied the waters even more. Fuller's comments offer a clear vision for how he would finally bring the classic novel to life within his established universe, with a fresh take on the FBI trainee that could surprise audiences. The rumors have been swirling for months, but we finally have confirmation. A new scary movie is officially in the works. And perhaps even bigger news than the film itself is who's involved. The Wayans brothers are back, a full 18 years after they stepped away from the franchise they created. Not only are they writing the script, but Marlon Wayans has confirmed he's reprising his role as Shorty. This is a huge deal, because the absence of the Wayans' unique comedic voice was a big reason those later films in the series didn't land with audiences in the same way. The first two films became a cultural phenomenon, in large part because of the brothers' singular perspective. But it gets better. The new installment is also bringing back some other familiar faces. Anna Faris is set to return as the perpetually unlucky Cindy Campbell, and Regina Hall will once again be playing Brenda Meeks. The return of these core characters really cements the feeling that this is a true reunion, a return to form for the entire franchise. The film is currently slated for a June 12, 2026 release, and with the original creative team and cast coming back, we can only hope they'll recapture the original magic. In what is a very interesting piece of news for the horror landscape, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise may have finally found a permanent home. Reports suggest that A24 has successfully won a bidding war for the rights, with a deal expected to close in the very near future. The franchise has been through a revolving door of studios and production companies for decades, with each new iteration struggling to establish a consistent creative vision. The last film, released on Netflix, was widely panned, But now the franchise might be in the hands of a studio with a very different reputation. A24 has built its name on a brand of elevated auteur-driven horror with films like Hereditary and The Witch. The first project under this new banner will be a television series with a creative team that includes JT Molnar, Roy Lee, and the actor Glenn Powell. This is a very promising group, with Molnar having just written the critically acclaimed film The Long Walk, and Lee's impressive list of producing credits, which includes Barbarian and Weapons. A24 reportedly beat out a number of other studios, including Sony, in a very competitive bidding process. Some exciting news from the world of horror franchises. The Insidious series is returning, with the 6th installment officially in the works. The film is set to bring back a familiar face, as horror icon Lin Shaye is confirmed to reprise her role as Elise Rainier, the beloved psychic medium. And she'll be joined by Amelia Eve, an actor who horror fans might recognize from her work in The Haunting of Bly Manor. Fans can expect to see Insidious 6 in theaters on August 21st, 2026. The return of Lin Shaye's character is particularly notable given her presence has been a constant throughout the entire series, connecting the different timelines and stories, even after her character's death in the first film. It will be interesting to see how the story continues to unfold. We all have our yearly traditions. The things we do, the movies we watch, the rituals we perform to get into the spirit of the season. For a lot of horror fans, that means pulling out a copy of Michael Daughtery's 2007 anthology film Trick or Treat. And this October, fans will get a new opportunity to experience the film in a different way. On October 14th and 16th, Fathom Entertainment will be bringing a new 4K restoration of the Halloween classic to theaters for a 2-night only event. For a film that famously skipped a theatrical release and went straight to video, this is a chance to see it on the big screen, the way it was originally intended. The re-release will also include some bonus content. Daughtery will provide some insight into the Halloween memories that inspired the movie and the creation of the iconic character Sam. And perhaps most excitingly, the screening will include a 4K restoration of Daughtery's 1996 animated short Season's Greetings, which introduced Sam for the very first time. The tickets are on sale now through Fathom Entertainment and at participating theater box offices. After decades of speculation, the rumors are finally being put to rest. Matthew Lillard has confirmed his return to the Scream franchise, reprising his role as Stu Macher in the upcoming 7th installment. For anyone who has followed the franchise, this is a monumental piece of news. For years, fans debated whether Stu Macher truly died after being electrocuted by a television in the original film. The fan theories were relentless, and Lillard himself often played along, fanning the flames of speculation at conventions and in interviews. The actor says he was approached directly by the director Kevin Williamson, the franchise's creator, about returning. Lillard says the script is fantastic and promises the film will not ruin the franchise. This is a significant statement from an actor who, in the past, has expressed anxiety about returning and potentially tarnishing the legacy of such a beloved character. The 7th film is slated to debut on February 27th, 2026. And that's it for the news. Links to all of my sources will be included in the show notes. For upcoming releases, we have 1 film being released in theaters and 2 on video on demand. Up first in theaters, The Strangers Chapter 2, and the synopsis reads: The strangers are back and more brutal and relentless than ever. When they learn that one of their victims, Maya, is still alive, they return to finish what they've started. With nowhere to run and no one to trust, Maya must survive another horrific chapter of terror as the strangers pursue her, more than willing to kill anyone who stands in their way. First up on video on demand is Megan 2.0, and the synopsis reads: 2 years after Megan's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, the military-grade weapon who was built by a defense contractor who stole Megan's underlying tech. And to close things out for video on demand, we have The Draft, and the synopsis reads: 5 typical college students spend their weekend in a typical old villa only to find that they have to survive in a battle of wits against an absolute, almighty, all-powerful terror that is seemingly undefeated. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, share, all of those things. I know that's annoying to hear 1,000 times a day, but it really is a huge help. We are on YouTube, Instagram, X, and Threads. The handle for all of those is I_watch_horror. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Until next time, take care.